can't be the guinea pig.
Well, absolutely.
Right, how's the hair
That's
looking?
So me.
It looks nice.
Okay.
It's like hot ones, you know. Chicken wings.
I love chicken wings.
Yeah.
I would have done that.
So, can you introduce yourself and how long you've been working at Care Control?
Hi, my name's Natasha. I have been working at Care Control for about 4 years now. It will be 4 years in April, and I am the customer success manager. My favourite colour is pink.
Yes.
I am 33 years old,
Yeah.
and I like to read.
This is what I like.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, what do you actually do day to day?
Well, what do I do? So I do lots of things. I do training. So I help people start to embed the system into their day-to-day working lives. I support my colleagues with questions. Sometimes I dabble with a little bit of support. So you might find me on there. But mostly it's training, really. That's like my remit, making sure people are happy with the system, know how to use it, and feel confident.
What are customers usually feeling when they first come to Care Control?
Well, it depends, because it can be a little bit scary if you come completely from paper, if you're not someone who's like maybe tech savvy is the phrase. I come from a complete care background. That's where I started, 10 years in care before I came to Care Control. And I had never used a digital system, never really used a computer. So, it's been as much a learning curve for me. So I get where people are coming from in that sense. Some people are just like raring to go, super excited, know what they're doing, especially if they've come from other systems and they're like used to kind of the way things work with those bits. So sometimes a little bit scary. Some people are a little bit like, let's go. But most of the time, I would say people are excited, if not slightly daunted.
And what problems are they often dealing with at that point?
So it can depend. Sometimes if they're coming from paper, it can be things like, I've had to get this new copy of the rotor out to everybody, and that one's we've had to change completely and move that one around. Or maybe it's like, we're trying to work out the dependency. Have we got enough people on shift and bits like that? Or this part of the care plan needs to be updated, and then you've got printers malfunctioning and all sorts. So it really depends.
Is there a customer moment that has really stuck with you?
I've had a few, to be honest. This sounds big-headed. I like to think that I make pretty good relationships with the people that I train. So there's been a few times where someone said to me, oh, finally, it's clicked. That makes sense. And seeing them actively use it, especially ones where they're a little bit scared to start with and then they like it, has been wonderful. So I've had a few moments like that where it's like a eureka moment, like, oh, that's what it's going to do for us. That's how it's going to change everything for us.
When do you feel the impact of Care Control most clearly?
I guess when people fully embed it in the system and they can see the results themselves, because it's all well and good me saying this is what it's going to do for you, this is how it's going to change, but when they actually feel it, so getting to use the rotor and move things around nice and clearly, staff know what they're up to, being able to have that information on pocket when you need it, and just having all the information. I'm not running to the office to look through someone's care plan. I know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm answering the phone to a GP. So bits like that, I guess, like when the customer feels they know this is working for us.
If you were to summarise, so we're 10 years of Care Control. I know that you haven't been here for 10 years, but like within that period of the 10 years, what do you think is the most exciting sort of advancements that you stand out for you?
I love the rotor, and I know I keep going on about it, but I think what we've done with the new one on cloud, in fact, do you know what? All of cloud has been such a kind of revival. I love Legacy, it does exactly what you need it to, it's brilliant, but it's like, it's had a bit of a facelift. It just looks a lot, I don't know, a bit user friendlier, it's on your browser, it's lovely. So I really like cloud, big fan of cloud. I like our new branding. That's been a huge step up. So, it's, again, love all the old stuff. Matt, you've done a fab job, but the new stuff is also rather lovely. It's been a wild ride. over the 10 years. I've only been here for the last 4 of them, but what a change we've been through in all this. I would probably, if I had to sum it up, a marathon, not a sprint. But it's been good. It's loads coming.
Thanks, Dash. I'll have a swiggy in that thing.
Sorry, I'll get the giggles out of the way. Hello.
Right. Can you introduce yourself and how long you've been at Care Control?
Okay. Hi, I'm Alicia. Where am I looking? Am I looking at you?
No.
Okay.
Right.
Can you introduce yourself and how long you've been at Care Control, please?
My name's Alicia.
So, can you introduce yourself and how long you've been at Care Control?
Of course I can. My name's Alicia. I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager, and I've worked at Care Control for just over 4 years now.
What do you actually do day to day?
What do I actually do? What do I do? I don't know how to answer that question. I'm sorry. Okay.
So, Alicia, what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, so I'm the sales and marketing manager, so I'm kind of spread between the sales function of the business and the marketing side. Primarily my role is to bring in new care providers to use the Care Control system. That's how I would summarise it, but there's a lot more to it than that. I think one of the best parts about my role and my team that I'm with is that we get to educate people on the benefits of using technology within their care settings, and help bring them onto the journey of Care Control. A little bit not day to day, but for anyone that is watching, we do a lot of care shows and trade shows throughout the year, so we attend them, which is really fun, and that's actually my favourite part of the job, because I get to go out and I get to meet with our customers, meet with potential customers, and not just do a hard sell to them about what Care Control is, but actually get to know them and understand what challenges they're facing at the moment. And that to me is really important, being able to build those relationships with those people.
How do people usually react when they first hear about Care Control?
That's a really good question. Normally people say, I get everything for that price. And we're like, yes, you get everything for that price. You get your care planning, your rostering, your HR, medication, recruitment, everything. But there's got to be more. You're going to charge me more, surely. I don't get everything for that price. And I think it's quite funny how surprised people are that we're an all-in-one solution, and that we are very, very, very reasonably priced for what we do. So yeah, that's probably the first thing I hear from people, which is always fun.
What do they not expect?
That we're an all-in-one solution, I would probably say. Again, going back to that first answer there, they don't expect that we do everything that they can use to manage their care setting, and they also don't expect that it's not just for residential homes, it's for domiciliary, it's for supported living, it's for mixed services, which I think is really cool. It's nice to work for a business that not a lot of other businesses do what we do, and being able to serve the entire care community, which I think is really special. And also we're providing everything for somebody to use within their care setting that's really reasonable, and I think that's really cool.
How has the story of Care Control changed over the years?
How has the story of Care Control changed over the years? I guess I'll go back 4 years ago when I joined Care Control. So I joined Care Control in 2022, so we had just turned 6 years old. And it was a really fun time to join the company because obviously we'd just gone from a micro company to a small business. And that's a huge, huge step for any business, really. And when I joined, we were in this tiny room. Obviously can't see it, but I'm sure your guys will cut to something where you can see it. But we were in this tiny room, all kind of packed in like sardines. And from there, we we went on a real journey actually. So a few months after I joined, we just got our NHS assurance. That's obviously going back about 4 years ago now, and we were like one of 5 people on the list at that time, which was huge. And back then we didn't really know what the NHS assurance meant and what it was going to be, but we knew it was really important to be a part of. And so it was really cool being part of that journey from the start. Where we are now, so over the years, obviously we expanded. I've seen the office grow. I've literally sat in every single area of this entire office building. We like to move seats a lot in this office, which is fun. And yeah, I joined Care Control when we had very clinical branding, 2CCs, if anybody remembers that. And I was really lucky to be part of the journey in rebranding Care Control, which I think is one of the most significant moments for me, being in this business and in a job sense of what contributed towards the business. And me and my colleague at the time, Will, went through to rebrand Care Control, which was really cool. And the offices that you see today really represent that journey and that growth as well, I think. But for me, I guess now I'm really excited for the future of Care Control. We've got some really exciting stuff in the pipeline, which I'm really excited to showcase to people. We've got some crazy product enhancements coming out. I think if I just switch back a minute, or flip back to when I started at Care Control, I joined when we were still on a different version of our software, and I've been on this journey for the last 4 years of seeing that progression of the software moving across to Care Control Cloud, and the designs and the functionality and rolling it out to customers. And 2026 for us is the year when that project is, I'm not going to say coming to completion, because these things never come to completion. There's constant innovation that needs to be made, and more that we can add to the software. But that project, from where it started to where it is now and how close we are to finishing it, is really special to have seen that and been part of that journey, and to be able to showcase that to our existing customers and also new customers too. So, but I can't share too much because there's lots going on, but it will be fun to start drip feeding that throughout 2026.
What does 10 years at Care Control mean to you personally?
What does 10 years of Care Control mean to me personally? On a personal level, the reason why I wanted to work for Care Control at the start was because I believed in the mission and the values that the company was bringing, and the direction it was taking in enhancing the social care sector. And my previous role, I'd worked with loads of different companies, and the ones that really stood out to me were health tech companies where they had a product that was actually making a difference, and I wanted to work in that. And I didn't really realise at the time the breadth of the community that the social care sector has. And I've made some incredible relationships so far with care providers and lots of different people within the sector, which I'm really proud to have those relationships with and being able to be on their journey with them as well. And I think on a personal level, at one point in our life, or multiple points in our life, we are all going to need care and support. We've all received care and support in some way or another. And what better way of being able to be part of that than part of the journey of making sure that there are systems out there that are going to be able to support that, not just now but in the future. It's protecting me in the future, it's protecting our children, everything. And from a personal note as well, I've been in situations with family members whose care journey has been affected quite massively because of care professionals not having access to the correct information about them, life-threatening information that can really have an impact on them, and that's really scary. And it shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be that something's lost because it's in paperwork. It should be there, easy to see, and it doesn't matter who's going to be there in that care journey if they've got the correct information and not even if it's about life-threatening issues, but someone's personal preferences, or how they like to be spoken to, or how they want to be showered, or how they want their cup of tea. You know, that's so key and important to making sure that person feels safe and secure and respected in their care. And that for me is probably the main driver of wanting to work in this sector and work for Care Control, to drive that change and to make sure that everybody's well looked after and respected in care.
If you were to summarise Care Control in 10 words, what would they be?
10 words. That's a lot of words. I'm going to go community, innovation, passion, continuity, knowledgeable, all in one, busy, experienced, and blue with a bit of teal. There's blue everywhere. It's literally everywhere.
Right. Can you introduce yourself and how long you've been at Care Control?
I am Lizzie Hunt. I am one of the key account management team, and I have been here for 5 years.
What do you actually do day to day?
Good question. Good question, Tiki. What do I actually do day to day? So I speak with our silver key accounts, and we have regular monthly meetings. I bring them up to date with new products that have been released on Care Control.
You worked in care before joining Care Control. What were the biggest challenges day to day, and how did paperwork and systems affect the time you could spend with people?
The biggest issue was leaving on time, because of all the paperwork that came with having to write down all your daily notes, etc. Having a system in place really helped, because it meant that we didn't have to sit down and write notes for every individual. You could multi-select clients and get the notes written that way, which is really helpful. When we used to work with paperwork, most of it was writing down. So you'd carry out all your care, and then at the end of the day, you'd sit down and write your notes, which by the end of the day, you've forgotten what you've done first thing in the morning. So having a system in place meant that we were able to record as we went. So we weren't having to sit down at the end of the day to record all of our notes, which really saved time. And whilst we're recording, we can also sit with the clients to record, because they're on handheld devices. So it meant they were portable, whereas with paperwork, it was more that you were you were more sat in the office. It was more office writing your notes. So it means that you're now a bit more personalised with the clients. You're spending more time with clients, and you can do it as you're going throughout the day.
How did it feel moving from working in care to being part of the team building and supporting the system you once relied on?
Oh, it was lush. It was 9 to 5. It was no weekends. There was no evenings. I had my life back. Do you want me to put that sensibly?
When you look at how far Care Control has come over the last 10 years, what change or improvements makes you most proud?
Okay, so with Care Control, because I used it from the very beginning, the difference within the system is incredible. We started with just being able to record the very basics, such as personal care, food, fluid, very basic care plans, but it's now involved where you can really personalise the system to suit the individual clients that you're supporting. The cloud is so much cleaner, it's so much fresher, it's much more up to date. You can build your own forms on there now, where when it first started you weren't able to do that. So that's really helpful in case we haven't got something that you need. You can build and you can add it in there. So it really grows with your service.
As a key account manager, what's your favourite part of the role, and how does your background in care help you support care providers better?
Oh, that's easy. My favourite part of the role is leaving at 4 o'clock. Cut. My favourite part of the role is going out and meeting customers. I love going to see you, where you're actually in your own service, you're in your environment. It's nicer being able to speak to people face to face than it is via Teams. Teams is great. You can have monthly meetings via Teams, but it's taken away that personalised bit of it. So it's really nice just to just to go out into the country and actually meet customers face to face.
So, for care providers who have just started using a digital system,
Yes.
what advice would you give them?
Take a deep breath. It's not as scary as you think it's going to be. Originally, when you first start, it feels like you've taken on Kilimanjaro. It's like literally, it feels like it's a huge task in front of you, but it really isn't. If you break it down into sections, you'll find it's not as daunting, and you can sort of like set guides, so you're meeting like timelines, and which is really helpful. It helps increase sort of like your enthusiasm around the system. Start with your care plans. It's a good opportunity to rewrite them, really personalize them to the clients. Make sure you've got everything captured that you need captured. Yeah, that would be my number one, I think.
Awesome. Last one. If Care Control was a person, what would their personality be?
Consistent. I would say they were an ideal staff member. They turn up on time. They do all the work for you, as long as the information that you're adding in is correct. Yeah.
Thanks, Lizzie.
Can you see me?
I've got you. You comfy?
I'm comfy. Oh.
Can you introduce yourself, your role as Business Development Manager, and how long you've been at Care Control?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Jack. I've been part of the Care Control team for over 2 years now. My role and responsibility is to talk to all of our wonderful potential new customers and to give them a good impression as to what the software could mean for their business moving forward.
You joined Care Control whilst the platform was still evolving from the legacy system. What was it like coming in at that stage of the journey?
Yeah, it was really interesting. It's a rather exciting time for us as a business to be able to move everything over into more of a modern way of working, especially from a customer's perspective. Seeing everything move from an install application into the cloud was hugely powerful for everyone's access and how they would operate in their day-to-day. Whilst they have oversight and overview within the Windows platform, it just further enables those members of staff that might be working remotely or needing to pick up in their own time, perhaps on their own device, to be able to log in through single sign-on or email address, username, password, two-factor authentication, things like that. So more enhanced visibility for anyone who needs to access the system in their own time.
You speak to care providers every single day. What challenges were they raising during that transition period, and how did Care Control respond?
Yeah, so I think the narrative in the industry that we work in has changed quite dramatically, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, with all the funding being available to the organisations that we support, and with most of the industry now being digitised. It's really that organisation themselves where they are on their digital journey. Perhaps they maybe don't have a rostering tool, or maybe they don't have medication management support, or maybe even HR. So Care Control's all-in-one solution is able to support all of those different factors of the business. It's not just about perhaps the service users, although they are an ultimate priority in looking after the people they support, but it's also workforce management as well. Communication is of course so vital. So being able to communicate with members of staff around updates to care plans or policies that might have changed within their business, and that being presented to them as one of the first screens they see when they log into the application, as an example. It's making sure that everyone is up to date around any changes at all times.
So over the last 2 years, what improvements or changes have you seen that really show how far the platform has come?
Yeah, so I'm quite fortunate in my role really to show all of our new customers, what the software has the potential of, but also being able to field suggestions for improvements and things like that is also super powerful. Working with customers around specific bespoke pieces of work. As an example, last year we conducted some work around body maps for one of our customers working in the case management sector. and the feedback that they'd received from the people that they support is that amputees, and those amputees aren't necessarily represented within the body maps that they're displayed on a daily basis. So we were able to provide that enhancement into the software for them, which we saw huge value in as a business, to be able to provide that functionality to all our customers. So, software is of course always evolving, and any enhancements that we see value in as a business to provide to our wider customer base, will always be considered as part of our ongoing roadmap to enhance the software.
So from a business development perspective, what makes you most confident when you're talking to providers about care control today?
For me, it's having all these tools in one set location, one set space, which is of course fully integrated with one another, to be able to make changes perhaps within a rostering plan, or indeed a member of staff's absence to then be automatically pulled into that front-facing view. I think saving time and efficiency is hugely important within businesses, and that goes for all businesses across all sectors. So being able to provide that to the organisations that we support, I take great pride in showing all these features that we have within the software to save them time, which ultimately gives them more time back to spend with the people that they're there to support.
Great. So finally, what does working at Care Control mean to you personally?
Do you want the serious answer, or do you? Oh God, I didn't think of an answer for that one.
Caught you off guard there.
Yeah. So working at Care Control to me means, collaboration, highest amount of energy, real focus on what we're here to achieve, and that is to provide, the best software possible to as many organisations within the UK, whether it be from that domiciliary aspect or supported living aspect, residential nursing home settings, mental health, learning disabilities. The list is endless. I think with Care Control being so configurable, it has the opportunity to serve so many different businesses, and it's going to be a great tool moving forward for all care organisations to be able to utilise.
So looking forward to the future, what are you most looking forward to in terms of advancements and what we're bringing to the sector?
So I would consider the cloud area being completely finalised, which we are months and months away from now. I'd really like to see that completed and see the full potential of that being delivered to the customer. We've got some amazing features in development at the moment in relation to CRM, pre-assessments linking to that also, as well as advancements in medication, things like that. So yeah, those few things are really exciting for us as a business for this year to look forward to.
So with the inclusion now of Margo AI within our system, are you seeing benefits on a daily basis with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And the artificial intelligence features within software are available for frontline carers as well as managers. Carers, as an example, have got the ability to dictate straight into the phones through the speech to text, and then use either enhance, extend, or translate features within those. So enhance will go through that note and make sure it's all grammatically correct. Extend will take that note that they've written and maybe create it into a paragraph. And translate is a fantastic feature for any carers of foreign nationality where English isn't necessarily their first language, to be able to record in their mother tongue and then have that translated into the regulatory purposes for their organisation. When it comes through to managerial analytics as well, we've got simple prompting functions to be able to interrogate the data, but also have this surface to you straight away. So really good routines and managers is to perhaps come into the service on a Monday morning when perhaps they've not been working throughout the weekend, and ask it to highlight the top 5 issues that need to be dealt with from the weekend's activity, or anything that you should be aware of. So yeah, super powerful tools, and I think artificial intelligence is really a thing of the future, albeit carefully considered within the industry that we work in.
Amazing, thanks Jack. So can you introduce yourself and how long you've been at Care Control?
I'm Kerry, customer service manager, and I've been here for 6 years. Yeah.
So what do you do on a typical day to day?
I'm involved with supporting all of our customers with all the puzzles that they send in to us. And hopefully to help resolve, or we'll communicate with other teams, get information, feed it back, generally support the customers to use the system.
Nice. Kerry, before Care Control, take us back to then. What were you doing before you joined Care Control?
So before Care Control, I worked in care. In all, I've worked in care for about 20 years, but I worked at Matt's Care Home, Spring House, and I was assistant manager there.
What was the best part about working in the care sector?
People.
People.
Yeah, people. Love people, all their stories, helping them, supporting them, getting to know everybody.
Were there any standout moments?
No. Good or bad? I think there's not just one. It's the situations that you're in on a day-to-day, just how you handle it, who you're working with. Made some brilliant friends, lifelong friends. I think it's just all in one.
You're now at Care Control.
Yep.
And you've admitted to me yourself you're not a technical person.
No.
So how was that transition for you?
Scary. Really, really scary. So when I joined Care Control, I didn't use laptops, PCs. I used Care Control, but on, basic needs. And it's really scary. But if I can do it, anyone can.
What has changed most in how Care Control customers use the system now compared to, say, 6 years ago when you joined?
I think more understanding of what a system can do. In the beginning, it was somewhere great to put your notes kind of thing, but now there's so much more the system can support with, and knowing what's out there and can you do it and can we add it, and more tech savvy. Lots of information.
What is the most valuable part of the software, do you think, to, say, a residential care provider?
Oh, there's all sorts. Obviously, the care plans are second to none. They are everything you need to look after your person and to communicate and to share with other professionals. One of my favourite bits is care note analysis. As a manager, you need to find something out, you're talking to a family or another professional, you can search for a trigger word and it comes up and you've got it there and then.
And you've worked this year, or 2025, you've started working on a really exciting project about Margot AI.
Mm-hmm.
How has that journey been for you so far?
Interesting. A lot for me to learn, but I can see the benefits already, supporting the customers, faster responses. It's highlighted areas where we needed more guidance and we've put them in place, and it's still growing.
So what problems, Kerry, before using Care Control were you finding in a typical care home, without having a system in place?
In a care home, I think it's kind of a hidden challenge. If you imagine your office and you've got a 30-bed residential home, you've got 30 folders. Where do you keep them? Storage, making sure the paperwork's in the folders where it should be. Restocking them folders, making sure you've got all the forms, information's recorded and it's in there. If you want to go back a bit more in dom care, make sure you've got the paperwork with you when you get to the house so you can add it to the folder, because if you haven't got it, the next carer's got nothing to go on. And making sure, obviously, that them folders are safe, kept somewhere safe in the homes, etc. And relying that it will stay there.
That's really interesting, actually, because we had a chat with another team member the other day who worked in dom care, who said that they would have to do weekly audits, and that meant everybody had to go to their clients' houses, collect the paperwork, bring it back in, and it was chaos. Was that a similar experience for you in the dom care side too?
Yeah, you had to make sure it was all up straight. Your boot was filled with blank copies of care note pages, risk assessment pages, like personal information pages ready for you to refill them folders if and as when needed.
Sounds like chaos.
Your boot wasn't used for anything else.
No shopping in there.
No.
What would your favourite part of Care Control be, considering all of those issues that you were having before you had a system?
It's all in one place. It's easy access and it's there. Quick.
Why did you choose to come to work at Care Control?
Obviously, I was working at Matt's care home, and I'd been there for a long time. I was looking for a new challenge, and I just wanted to try something new. And the opportunity came up, and I could use my skills to still be in care and help, but not actually physically doing it. And obviously, family commitments, it made it a little bit nicer as well. Yeah.
And I know the story, but for those watching, what has your experience with regulatory inspections been like?
Scary. Yeah, I've been there for a few. I fully get that sense of fear when you see them walking up to the building and checking their badge and everything. And just the pressure of it, it's intense. You know the answers, but because they're that official person and they could do what they want effectively, the pressure of it is immense. And then being that person that's getting asked all the questions or shut in the meds room looking for all the medication for a long time, it's a lot. And then you breathe a sigh of relief.
I guess final question from me is, what does it mean to you working at Care Control?
I think I'm quite proud of Care Control, to be fair, because I've seen it from when it got created to what it is now and who it's supporting. Proud. And it's still all about the customer, carer. Yeah. Make everybody dizzy. There's one there. Look. No. Oh.
Steve, what do you think of Care Control? How would you describe Care Control, Steve? Can you introduce yourself and how long you've been at Care Control?
Yes, so my name's Charlotte. I work for CAMS, our key accounts department. I've been with Care Control 4 years in April. So this is Boone. This is my beautiful border collie across don't know what. He is 11 this year. He comes in to work with me sometimes. So yeah, but he's a really good boy. So and he enjoys being in the office because he gets lots of treats.
What's a piece of feedback from customers that really stayed with you?
A lot of them, they love Care Control and they love what it can do, and it's all in one system.
If you had to describe Care Control in 3 words, what would they be and why?
I'm going to say family, because we are all one big family here. All the departments in this, in this company, we all help each other out. If you've got a problem with one bit, then we're all there to help each other. We're good listeners. I think Care Control are good listeners. We listen to our customers, and we'll try our hardest to put that into the system for them. Jack of all trades. Say jack of all trades. Helping, supporting the team, supporting the customer, problem solving, do it quick on your feet before seeing if you can sort something out before you send it to the support team.
Oh,
Oh, interesting. Working in Matt's care home, using care control as a deputy manager and a care assistant, and then coming to working for it, kind of like realizing how much the software can actually do. So
Do you think that's the biggest blocker for people with a digital system is to learn it who maybe not tech savvy?
yeah, it's hard to go through. You can't expect a digital system to act like your paperwork. It just doesn't do it. And a lot of people, going from paper onto a digital system, expect it to be the same, and it just doesn't work like that. You can't have it work like that because there's certain aspects of it that just aren't going to transfer. So it's getting that new way of working.
So you must say it's probably quite rewarding seeing people that have never maybe always historically been on paper adopting care control, and then seeing how that can improve their service is probably
Yeah, going through obviously from when they come on board, and you've got the implementation team teach them how to use it. So just being able to assist them and show them how easy it actually is and the functionality of it, it's kind of like really rewarding, because then you know that you've done, along with the implementation guys, you've also had your input in on that.
Everybody's had a little bit of a limbo moment with the start of this one.
So I got my tissue just in case I cry.
Can you introduce yourself and how long you've been at Care Control?
So I'm Lorna. I've been with Care Control since day one, which is 10 years this year.
And Lorna, you've obviously been employee number one. You've seen the company grow, but you've also worn many different hats in the company. Talk us through all those hat choices you've had over the years.
Initially, I was everything. Sales, support, invoicing, finance, what else? Implementation, and being titles, lots of titles. Digital transformation manager was one. Customer success manager was another one. And I'm currently senior key account manager.
What does it mean being a key account manager to you?
I'm the voice of the customer in the office. So anything a customer would like or would prefer or suggest, then I come in and I speak to the relevant teams and try and get it done as soon as I possibly can for them.
And part of your job as well means going and visiting customers. So how many miles do you think your car's done so far?
Funny you should say that, because I had a brand new car in April last year and I've done 9,000 miles, which doesn't sound a lot, but actually I only have a 5-mile commute to work, so it's actually a lot. So my first major trip, was over 1,200 miles when I went up to Scotland and Manchester, and then over to Newcastle, and then down. So it was a long mileage. I do, yeah.
So what were the biggest challenges in the early days for you?
Right at the very beginning, it was a case of having to learn the system, having never done care. I've been an IT person for years, so having to learn a new system, having to be able to sell it. And in the old days, we didn't just have Teams where you can show it. You had to log onto the person's PC and install Care Control onto the PC and then show it. But sometimes if their PC wasn't up to scratch, it took a lot longer to put on. So for me, that was one of the biggest challenges right at the very beginning. I think as we've evolved, things have become much easier. The fact that we've got Teams now and we can share our screens is much easier. Being able to jump onto PCs easier is another thing to support. So we've got lots of different functions and tools that we can use now from a support perspective. From my perspective, being able to have meetings and record meetings and refer back to meetings is really important as well, especially when you've got questions that you need to kind of answer. So yeah.
So you've obviously seen Care Control from its beginning of what it used to look like, and obviously advancements that we've made today. What has been the most iconic moment for you with the software development that we've seen so far?
I think cloud for me has completely been a game changer. The fact that we've got Margo AI on there, so you can do analytics very easily. Staff have relished the fact that they can correct their English and grammar on the system very easily. I think that really has been, yeah, great.
So, going back to, say, when you were customer service manager to where you are now, we've obviously have a lot more customers now. What has that shift been like for you?
It's been quite a change. Having had a team that I looked after, and now I'm looking after myself and having to look after the clients which are integral to the company. It has been quite a change, but it has been positive and challenging at the same time.
And what would you say is the most beneficial part of the software in your eyes to, say, some of the clients that you look after?
I think for me, it's actually Margo AI. I'm all into innovation and bringing new things into the systems to make it better for the customer. And actually using Margo AI will give you the analysis that you want. It will put it into nice, pretty PDFs that you can hand out to staff, etc. So for me, that is really good.
So what do you think has stayed the same at Care Control even as it's grown?
My hair. Oh God, sensible answer. I think the ethics that we bring to the system, we're always proactive. We're always looking at. We're always trying to progress. I think that to me is key, and customer is king.
What are customers feeling when they first join Care Control, from your experience?
Customers can sometimes feel daunting. It can be daunting for them. They're moving from possibly paperwork, which is, something that they've done for years and years and years, and then they're having to put something onto a digital system. It can be quite frightening. The fact that we handhold through that process, I think, is really, and we always have done, is really key to the success of them staying with Care Control. I've got customers that have been with us for a very long time, 10 years, and they're still here and they're up and running and they love it. And we have customers that still ask for me that I haven't spoken to in years, which is quite nice. So, yeah.
What's the best thing about visiting customers on site?
I think to have that face-to-face interaction, to sometimes be put under pressure, to be able to answer things at the top of my head, and to instill trust. I think that's important.
And final question from me, Anna. How many different seats have you sat in this office?
I think I've sat in every single seat. I certainly have sat in all the various. The only room I haven't been in is the one upstairs.
Still time.
I know. I know.
So, Profit, what makes your tail wag the most financially? Loss, what's the biggest financial risk in the office? Profit, who is the best at budgeting treats? Loss, what keeps the finance manager awake at night? So can you introduce yourself and how long you've been at Care Control?
Hello, I'm Amanda. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Care Control Systems, and I've been with the company 4 years this April.
When you first joined Care Control, what was it like as a business?
When I first joined Care Control, my first impressions when I joined was what a highly engaged, highly collaborative team I was joining. Having left a previous multi-international organisation and joining an SME, I was amazed at how responsive the team were and the agility that we had.
What surprised you the most when you came in?
First impressions, first impressions was I didn't know the building was here. And I didn't know and understand fully what the product was offering. But truthfully, I think what I quickly learned was how engaged and how immediately responsive the team were. And I always use the phrase small but mighty. Absolutely punching above our weight all the time.
What do people not realise about running a care technology company, would you say?
How much is involved behind the scenes, from the infrastructure that supports the operation to enable the customers to have that continuity of service, keeping the lights on all the time, the fact that we've got people on call 24 hours a day to ensure that the support is there for the infrastructure should there be any outages or risks to service, the fact that we are constantly evaluating the security behind the scenes and ensuring that we stay ahead of the market. The risks are ever evolving. The complexity of the product that we offer is ever evolving from the regulatory aspects for the NHS and the CQC. So yeah, it is a 24/7 operation, literally.
What's the journey been like with ISO and Cyber Essentials at Care Control, and why is it so important for our customers?
For me, that's one of the most exciting parts because I believe or feel that the two models go hand in hand with each other. But when I first joined the company, we were only working with the ISO model. And the ISO model is fantastic because it's the operational framework that Care Control operates under. So it supports all of our business operations and how we stay compliant to ensure that we meet those regulatory compliances, which the NHS look for within us. But the Cyber Essentials and being Cyber Essentials Plus Assured, for me, is the absolute icing on the top, the cherry on top, because what that gives you is it gives you the remote testing, almost somebody trying to hack into your systems to see if you actually are compliant and doing what you said you were going to do. And for me, that's the seal of approval when that comes back as green.
What has been harder than you expected?
Ooh, good question. What's been harder than I expected? I think it's supporting the various sectors that we provide the service for. So understanding the community sector is very different to understanding the residential sector. And I think from a customer voice perspective, my biggest advocacy has been trying to ensure that all angles of the services that we support are represented. And I think we've still got some way to go within that, but we've learned a huge amount working with our customers, and certainly the power of understanding their needs is really what shapes how we move forward. And that's going to be very, very important for us in 2026 and beyond. Even more so, I think, with the shape of the direction of the product that we're taking to make sure that we can support those three sectors in a much better way.
What do you think has stayed the same at Care Control, even though it has grown?
Oh, our collaboration. I think even though we've got bigger, the one thing that we have not lost is our culture and our ability to support and work together. And for me, the collaboration, our ability to be agile and flexible is what really makes us a powerful team.
So could you explain the journey of the DSCR process and beyond?
So the DSCR process began with the NHS as part of a 10-year project, and that project is designed to improve the digitalisation of social care records across the care sector and into the wider scheme of the NHS infrastructure. A hugely complicated task and involves many, many regulated bodies across the sector of healthcare, from pharmacies, GPs through to ourselves as digital social care providers. But the most important thing is that the framework is a 10-year project which started with digital social care records, has now this year progressed to MODS, which goes live in July. MODS is a minimum operating data set that we need to adhere to ensure that we can move on to the third phase, which is interoperability standards, known as SIP. And then from SIP, we'll move on to single patient care records, which is a huge undertaking when you think about the infrastructure within the NHS and ensuring that all of our records can work within the various providers' records across that infrastructure. So yeah, an exciting, a hugely immense undertaking, because I think, you know, the size and scale of what we're actually working with to ensure that we stay part of that NHS club is really, really important for us.
You better put the soft focus on, mate. You haven't told me what you're going to ask me.
That's
You're on your toes. So can you introduce yourself?
Okay, so my name's Matt Luckham. I'm the CEO of Care Control. Yeah, been here forever.
Matt, we all know you because you are the boss, the payer of our bills. But for those watching, can you explain your journey from software to care back to software?
Okay, so I've always been involved in IT. I was working out of Birmingham, working for Capgemini at the time, working on their large-scale kind of government-based projects. And my family own a care home, and my mum rang me and asked whether my wife and I would like to buy it from her. She did quite a good sales job on me on the phone, said it was a really easy place to run. It was back in Devon where I grew up, so it seemed to make sense to give it a go. So yeah, we moved back down to Tavistock where I grew up, and yeah, I became the registered manager of Spring House residential home. And then from there, I realised that there's no way that I could run this home without a computer system. So started to write Care Control. It wasn't called Care Control at the time, but it was just a system to help me run the care home, and that's what I did.
How was that transition for the staff at Spring House, going from paper to a digital system?
I think when I got there, they were getting paid weekly in cash. It was very paper driven. So I think there were some big changes anyway that I had to make in order to kind of modernise the care home. So I think that modernisation process helped in terms of them transitioning to Care Control. But obviously this was developed over a few years. You know, this was me responding to the problems that we had in the home when I took it over. So it wasn't like an immediate thing. I think they were really positive, actually. I think they saw that the current processes they were following were very archaic. They were very time consuming. You know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, I don't think. So I think even the people who weren't very IT literate, they took on the challenge of transitioning quite well, I think.
And obviously back then there probably was systems out there that you could use within your home. Why did you choose to make your own?
Well, I'm not sure if this will make the edit or not, but I actually went and looked at that was really the only system that was out there at the time. But it didn't do everything I needed it to do. I was very much trying to get a system that could help me with the rotas, payroll, along with the care planning, and also I wanted a system that I think was specifically right for Spring House, and I think there were some compromises. So yeah, we ended up deciding to write our own, but I was in a rush really to get a system.
And so before, you were kind of a one-man band for Care Control. So you made it, you sold it, you marketed it, you kept developing it. What is one of the standout stories or memories from that time for you?
I mean, there was a few. I think first of all was the experience of going to different care homes. I think that was. I think care homes in general are quite insular. They kind of work within their own world, and and going out to other care homes, you suddenly realise actually that although you've all got the same challenges, how people deal with them are completely different. So that was quite interesting. And when I first started to kind of sell the software, just talking to other care homes about how they dealt with the kitchen, how they dealt with staff members was really interesting, and some of their attitudes towards staffing, and maybe some not so positive, you know, in terms of how they were dealing with it. So I think that was always quite interesting. I remember one funny story, which was I'm not really sure when it was, but I did a promotion where basically we had the first millionth note, I think, recorded on Care Control, and I said that I would present a check to the care staff member who recorded the note, and I did it accurately. I worked out who it was and contacted the care home, and I got this check created because I thought, you know, sort of like a bit of a 1990s style. Got to the care home, and this very, very short carer came out, and yeah, we looked very strange together. So that picture never made it anywhere. It just cost me £500. So yeah, lesson learned.
Oh dear. Do you remember your first few customers?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think I used to go and see them, have a cup of tea. At the time, the software was installed. It wasn't cloud-based, so I had to go and actually install the software. But yeah, it was, you know, I think it was all part of the process of trying to move the software forward, was actually the communication and talking to the clients, and yeah, they became good friends. And you know, we used to talk to each other about lots of problems, really, not necessarily about the software. It was really about running a care home. I was still running Spring House at the time, so yeah, I think, and we've still got those clients now, which is nice, you know. So they're still part of our history.
And so we're in 2026 now, and we have over 1,000 care providers as customers. They've obviously adopted Care Control within their care settings. On a personal level, how does that make you feel?
That's a good question. I'm very proud of, I think, the team we've got here and what the team have managed to do. I think it's been a long time since this has been a result of what I've done. I think, you know, hiring people like Lorna, who was one of the first employees here, who's been so key to, I think, helping grow that original customer base. And then as we've got bigger, we've added some great staff members who have really, I think, helped shape the story. I think that's what I'm proudest of, really. I think the fact that the customers have come is great, and they've stayed, but actually it's more about the people that we've employed and seeing them change as well, and being able to pay them reasonably well and watch them go on holiday and buy cars and pass their driving test, and just grow as humans, really. And I think being an employer is a really it's probably the proudest part of starting a business, is actually being able to make a difference of some sort to people. And I think for me, especially when we've taken some people on from the care sector, those people maybe didn't have the opportunities that they should have had through whatever reason. And I think giving them an opportunity here at Care Control to really thrive, I think, has been great to witness, really.
So we know you're always thinking about the next steps, what innovation we're going to bring in, what enhancements we're going to do. There's even a Teams channel named Matt's Great Ideas. What is your favourite advancement or upcoming advancement that you're excited about?
I think all the ideas are great. but then I sort of I do get kind of bored quite quickly and think about the next idea. Obviously, AI is our current kind of focus, and I think there's still lots to be done in AI and how it can help play a part in shaping the customer journey and what they experience within the software, and try to hopefully shortcut and speed up the process of recording of care. I think what I really like is when systems kind of all integrate and talk together. So when staff members are using devices and there may be working remotely, and that information is being exchanged with head office people. I think I really like the technology when we can show that data is very very transportable, and it can be moved around efficiently, so that can then play a difference. I think going forward, we've got some really interesting developments regarding the CRM system, which I think will be really good. I think that's it's one of the missing pieces of the jigsaw, and I think that will really help a lot of our customers dealing with what happens before a client joins their care service, and then continuing our journey on bringing everything together on cloud. It's been a long journey, but I can see the end of the journey now. And I think looking up payrolls coming across, invoicing, I think that would be great to get those products onto cloud. And breaking news flash, we will be retiring CC Windows this year. So we need to make sure that is a migration that all the customers are comfortable with.
So last few questions, but in your eyes, why is it so important for a care provider to use not just a digital system, but a NHS assured system?
I think first of all, it's impossible to run these care services without some systems, and every care home or nursing home has to have some sort of rota. It's just impossible not to have a rota. HR is some sort of HR control is often a regulatory requirement to evidence that you are onboarding staff properly and effectively. And then on top of that, we've got the requirement to make sure that we're evidencing the care that we're providing. These are not easy things to do, and you need to have systems that are reliable and can deal with these three sort of core tenets, if you like, of running a care business. I think the NHS and their involvement is interesting in terms of they're trying to unify data so that downstream you're going to be able to have what's called a single patient record. That single patient record has always been an ambition of many governments before, and this is the next flavour of that. But what they were looking for is that any citizen within the UK can access their record on a device, and that record will encapsulate data from all of the parties involved in providing their support. I mean, it's a massive challenge, but the only systems that are going to be part of that are the NHS assured systems, and you've got to sort of predict the future a little bit. But the current roadmap for the NHS is this will be looked at in April this year. They're going to be coming out with their final specification for this system, and they will be pushing hard because it's a government initiative to sort of centralise this data. So for me, I think there's really no point necessarily in picking a system that isn't NHS assured, because I think this will be mandated within the next sort of 12 to 24 months.
And then final question, do you have a message for our customers?
I think first of all, I'm super grateful that you're our customers, and that you've stuck with the Care Control as part of its journey. We're on our 10th year, and the system has changed significantly over recent years, and I know that change has never been straightforward. There's always pain within change. I think the company has also changed, but you're part of the story, and without you, we wouldn't be here. So yeah, I'm very grateful for all the customers who have taken the plunge and have gone with Care Control.